stadium. And Chris Clopton, one of the true freshmen, back at the goal line awaiting the kickoff for the Badgers. Matt Davenport, formerly a walk-on, now a scholarship athlete, kicks off. High end over end kick, really high, sailing back 5 yards deep in the end zone. Clopton will bring it out. He's to the 5, to the 10, comes to the near side, slips off the first man, caught from behind and pulled down as he got to the 17-yard line. That was a dangerous thing there. And making the tackle was Tom Burke, one of the starters at defensive end with 5 sacks already for the Badgers, who lead the Big Ten in that category with 21. Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to the Learfield Purdue Sports Network.
96.5, the new WAZY Lafayette, serving north central Indiana for over 30 years.
Billi Dicken, the comeback kid out of Bloomington, Illinois at quarterback. He's completed 55.5% of his passes. Hands off to Edwin Watson. Tries a short side cutback and is cut down for a yard and a 6.3 average. In fact, it's Matthews who ranks 8th best in the Big Ten in rushing so far this year. Second down and 11. The Boilermakers line up in the shotgun spread. Nobody behind Dicken. Trips to the left-hand side. Slot to the right. Dicken waiting for the snap from center. Now moves Sutherland in a little bit closer. Gets the snap, takes a 2-step drop, fires deep down the right side, and it is caught. It's caught by Jones, and he stepped out of bounds, and he crossed the Badger 45 to the whistle.
Did a good job on defense that time. You just hit it on the head, Joe. He took it right from him. His nickname by his teammates is Soup, Campbell Soup, and he looked like Stew on that play.
Slot to the near right-hand side, Alford wide to the left. Shotgun spread, Dicken with Watson to his side, and there's illegal procedure against the Boilermakers. Everybody that had 306 yards a game in total offense, which is number 1 in the Big Ten and 7th overall in Division I. Now they send Tillman, Alford, and Sutherland. Trips to the left-hand side, slot to the near right-hand side. This time Dicken over center. Jim Needrock is in there at center. On 1st and 15. Now the Badgers jump offside. Dicken on a draw. He's to the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. Dicken to the 15, to the 10, and out of bounds at the 7-yard line. What a great call by Dicken, who realized in the slot to the right. The setback is Watson. 1st and goal. Dicken with a call. The Boilermakers have moved all the way down here in 3 plays. And the give to Watson. He chugs ahead, gets to about the 6-yard line. A pickup of a yard, maybe a yard and a half. 2nd and goal just outside the 5-yard line in Badger territory. Favre, the defensive lineman from Cleveland Heights, Ohio, a redshirt freshman starting at defensive end, made the stop. It's 2nd down and goal from the 5, a 2-yard pickup for Watson, who has now gained 1 yard in 2 tries.
You know, Joe, Purdue's offense is averaging 8.8 yards per play coming into this game, or they did against Minnesota. And one of the reasons they can rack up big yards with the big plays, wide receivers for Purdue do an excellent job of blocking, and Winston had a great block on Dicken's run.
Trips to the left-hand side. Wide to the near side is Watson. Nobody behind Dicken on 2nd and goal from the 5. 3-step drop. He looks left, now fires down and deep in the end zone. Touchdown, Boilermakers. And it's Tillman. Willie Tillman's first touchdown catch of the year, and the Boilermakers have scored like lightning on 5 plays. They go 83 yards and take a 6-0 lead over the Badgers.
Mark Fisher, Brian Nicely, Jim Needrock, Chuki Akobe, and Dan Molly once again. Outstanding job all year long pass protection. Billy only has 9 sacks on the season, and on that play he had all day to find the open man.
Now the try for the extra point, and Shane Ryan knocks through his 20th consecutive PAT of the year.
And this year, with our closeout prices, we're offering great cash rebates, high trade-in values, and special lease packages. Come on out. Check out our selection of sales demonstrators with special discounts. It's our final closeout during our fall harvest sale. Everything is on sale. We're open till 9 weeknights, Saturdays till 5. The fall harvest sale on now at DePau, Lafayette.
96.5 WAZY.
Well, it didn't take the Boilermakers very long to go 83 yards, a total of 5 plays, and that's touchdown pass number 11 for Billi Dicken. Today's game brought to you in part by GTE, the official telecommunications consultant of the NCAA and the Big Ten Conference. Martin is deep, along with Ahmed Merritt. Merritt is on the far side. He is the main kickoff and punt returner for Barry Alvarez and the Badgers. Chris Arntz will kick it off for the Boilermakers from the north 35-yard line towards the south end zone here. And the stadium continues to fill up as people keep coming in. buying their tickets late. There's the boot, and a sailor bouncing past the up man, picked up by Martin. He's to the 15, runs to the far side, the 20, diving to the 24-yard line. That's Cecil Martin, the starting fullback. Not a big threat to break along when he returned that bouncing, sailing kick 13 yards back upfield to the 24-yard line. Lee Johnson helped bring him down with some help from teammate Willie Fells, and it'll be first down now for the Badgers, and we'll call it the Wisconsin 25-yard line. Purdue leading early 7-0.
Purdue may have one of the most unpredictable offenses in the nation and a nightmare for defensive coaches, but Wisconsin's offense is no less of a nightmare, even though you know number 33 is going to carry the ball.
Dane lines up with a right-hand eye behind quarterback Mike Samuel. Balanced set of wide receivers. The give to Dane. Big hole up the middle. Breaks one tackle. Lugs it across the 30. Stretches out to the 32-yard line. A pickup of 7 on his first carry of the ball game. Will yards and scored 21 times a year ago. Now they line up. Double tight end set. Now they drop a wing to the right. Dane is the only setback behind the quarterback. The wing in motion. Samuel quick drop. Hitch pattern out on the right side. Juggle. Caught. And getting across the 40-yard line.
A little bit, actually played some basketball for Wisconsin, got in a couple of games.
First down for the Badgers. Slot to the near left-hand side. Dane is the only setback. Double tight end set. And they hand off to the big guy. Starts right-left and a hole. Gets up across the 45. Grabbed by an ankle and pulled down by Beasley and Lee Brush at about the Badger 47-yard line. The Badgers really moving the Boilermakers off the line of scrimmage on the first possession here. A 6-yard pickup there. Here comes Rose back in. Rose replacing Doug Withers, who was in there for one snap on the previous play. And now the Boilermakers continue to run people in and out of there. Also coming in on this defensive snap for the ball is another defensive lineman who is wearing Kaiser's number, but that isn't Kaiser. Make that David Nugent, 82 instead of 92. The give to Dane again. He breaks to the outside and lugs a couple of Boilermakers piggyback across the 50-yard line into Purdue territory.
Red zone.
Slot to the, make it balanced set of wide receivers. Huntley in there now, former cornerback. He's wide to the right. Wide to the near side is Simmons. Bootleg, roll out to the right. Samuel throws on the run. It's caught and knocked out of bounds as Eric Graham's the tight end for a short gain at the 43-yard line. Willie Burrows.
And that says a lot about the program. They give every kid a chance. They've got 3 kids out here that came without the benefit of the scholarship that made it into the starting lineup.
Second down and 7, a gain of 3 on the little rollout pass to the tight end. The Badgers on the ball at the Boilermaker 44-yard line. Slot to the near left-hand side. Now wing to the right. Dane is the setback. No, I believe that's Faulkner in there now. He gets the handoff, comes to the near side, and is knocked down for a short gain to the 41-yard line. And Leo Perez made the stop along with Lee Brush, and that was Dane. Dane stayed in there. He doesn't look quite as heavy as he did a year ago, at least from the side. And he only picked up 3 yards on that carry. That's his shortest gain of the ball game so far. And that brings up the first critical third down for the Badgers now. Third down and about 4 yards to go at the Boilermaker 41. Dane has carried 4 times for 22 yards on the initial drive. Simmons wide to the right. Hayes wide to the near side. Wing to the right. Dane is the setback. Samuel over center. The wing is in motion. And a quick drop by Samuel. Fires downfield. A catch is made. First down. Upended at the 27-yard line is Simmons. And it was Simmons with the catch and a first down. Hawthorne made the tackle on the play for the Boilermakers.
Tony Simmons only needed 324 yards to pass Al Toon as a career reception yardage leader in receptions for Wisconsin. Won the 1996 Big Ten outdoor 100-meter and 200-meter and was an alternate for the Olympics. This guy can just burn you, and if he gets open behind the receivers, he's gone.
Yeah, he's a track star. 14-yard pickup. The Badgers are tops in the Big Ten in third down conversions with 50% of them. Purdue ranks second with 49. Now in motion is Hayes, and the play action fake. Hit as he throws, and Samuel's incomplete. The pass was short of the intended receiver. Down at the goal line, Roosevelt Colvin coming from the blind side knocked down Mike Samuel, the junior quarterback from Philadelphia, just as he unloaded the football. Second down and 10 now. The Badgers at the Boilermaker 27-yard line, and they gained about half a yard or so on the spot there. That's the first incompleted pass in the ball game. Samuel has thrown basically for short stuff.
And that's something you felt like coming into this game, that defensive end Roosevelt Colvin and Chucky Wakori could get around those big mammoth tackles. They're a lot quicker than the tackles.
Merritt and Austin are in at wide receiver now. Whole new set. Play action fake. Oh, they give to Dane, and he is snowed under at the line of scrimmage. Or make that second running back in there, that's Cecil Martin, the fullback. Dane was the fake on the play.
Well, Purdue stops him, and they had not stopped him up to this point. They tried a pass. It was rushed. Then they tried the other back, and neither worked.
Willie Austin wide to the right, slot to the near left-hand side, right-hand eye. Samuels back to throw. Now sidesteps, looking, being chased out of the pocket. Here comes the rush, and he's grabbed, and down he goes at the 25-yard line. Colvin chased him out of the pocket to the near side, and Wilson yarder the longest in his career. This will be a 42-yard try from the Boilermaker 32-yard line, near left hash mark.
They nicknamed him Money because he can make it in critical situations.
There's the snap. There's the kick on the way, and he hooks it wide left. No good.
Must not have been a critical situation, Joe.
Well, that one looked like it was hooked right from the get-go, and he missed it wide left, and the Boilermakers get the spread for the Boilermakers. Watson left-hand side of Dicken. He takes a snap from center, moves sideways, throws upfield, and a bit behind Alford, who had to reach back to try to make the catch and dropped it at the 33-yard line. It would have been short of the first down had he held on. Jason Suttle was covering on the play. The left cornerback for the Badgers. That'll bring up second down and 10 yards to go. And Dicken now 2 out of 3 for 46 yards, including the only touchdown in the ball game. He's also carried once for 42 yards, so he has already accounted for 88 yards in total offense in just 4 plays.
And Billy misfired that one because he was clearly open. If he could have got the pass to him, he had plenty of running room.
He stays in the gun. Watson on the left-hand side of the quarterback. Now he moves up, backs away, slot to their near right-hand side. Alford wide left. Boy, look at that man-on-man coverage. Inside handoff, slipping through a big hole, and Watson will go all the way. Watson across the 50. Watson at the 35. Watson at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, 75-yard touchdown. Edwin Watson, and the Boilermakers have stung the Badgers again, 13-0, and Purdue has scored 2 touchdowns and 7 offensive plays.
Wisconsin gambled big time. They had 10 men on the line of scrimmage and 1 safety to beat. Billi Dicken audibled at the line of scrimmage, and he thought if Watson gets by the line, he's gone, and boy, did he call that one. Great audible by Dicken, great effort by the line.
75-yard gallop right up the middle between the hashes for Edmund Watson. The kick is up and good by Shane Ryan. 21 of 21 on the year. 14.
DuPont, and tell us what's on your mind. Don't forget to read and follow the label.
Well, the Boilermakers have 164 yards in total offense and 7 snaps of the football. That time they went 75 yards in 2 plays, the longest run of Watson's career, following the longest run of Dicken's career in the first possession. And Purdue has stunned the Badgers 14-0. And look at this crowd. They're still coming in. It's not a sellout, but I would guess now, Pete, that we're closing in on 55,000 or more.
Well, I feel sorry for all the people that got here late and are still in line for their tickets because they've already missed some sensational football by the Boilermakers.
Merritt and Martin are deep for the Badgers. Moving forward is Chris Arntz. And this time he hits a much better kick end over ender. Back to the goal line, taken 1 yard deep by Merritt. He comes out to the 10, 15, got a little hole. There's a flag. He's across the 20. Bruised down by John Reeves with some help from one of the other Boilermaker contained players down there at the 23-yard line. But it looks like a holding call against the Badgers, and that'll pin them deep to their own goal line.
Mike Rose, starting linebacker on that kickoff team. Coach Tiller has said all year long he puts his best athletes on the field at all times, so it's not unusual to see a starting linebacker on the kickoff coverage. He was hit behind the back, clipped in the back on when he was attempting a tackle, and that's going to cost Wisconsin.
This game is sponsored in part by Cellular One, voted best cellular company by the readers of Indiana Business Magazine. That's the first penalty against the Badgers, and Wisconsin will start deep in their own territory from the point of the foul. The ball goes back to the 7-yard line.
You know, this is such a huge advantage for obvious reasons to jump out to a lead like this, but something you may not think about is it completely changes the game plan. With 7:50 left in the first quarter, Wisconsin's already forced to start rethinking their strategy.
Well, I still think if you got a back like Dane, you keep putting the ball in his hand at this point. He gets the handoff, hesitates a bit, breaks a tackle, lugs it out across the 10 out to the 15-yard line, and that's the reason why he just picked up 8 yards there. Burrows finally brought him down. Burrows with some help from Adrian Beasley, and give him another yard on the play out to the 16. That brings up second down and 1. It's still first quarter, Pete, still 7.5 minutes to go. and you can't call yourself out of the ball game yet, even though you're down 14-0. With a weapon like Dane, he's got to carry the ball 25, 30 times minimum.
Sometime a coach tends to overcoach a little bit. They were moving real well with Dane. Then when they went away from him, Purdue stopped him.
Wing back in motion from the right, slot to the left. They give to Dane again, cut back. He lumbers out across the 25, rolling to the 26-yard line. 10 or 10 more yards, and he'll have his 1,000 for the year. And that may be just a little bit more than half of what he's going to wind up with this season. Slot to the left-hand side. Against they drop a wing to the right. He comes in motion. That's the tight end, Grams. Again, they give to Dane. Penalty flag. And this time Dane stops before he got to the line of scrimmage.
Against a 370-pounder. And then when they get by him, they have to hit Dane, who's 260.
Well, we got a third quarter score from Ann Arbor. Iowa now. The Hawkeyes have taken a 21-7 lead over the Wolverines. And, of course, that ball game has all kinds of important ramifications as far as the Big Ten is concerned. An Iowa victory today, and if Purdue can defeat Wisconsin here this afternoon, that would mean there's only 2 unbeaten teams left in the Big Ten. Now the Badgers are faced with a 1st and 15 from their own 22-yard line. Again, Graham's in motion as a wing to the right. Back to throw, and firing downfield is Samuel. Threw it over the head of the intended receiver, Kevin Huntley, into the Boilermaker bench on the near side.
And last week against Illinois, he had a season-high 72 yards rushing. And the first touchdown of the game was a 29-yard option keeper by Samuels.
Badgers line it up. Again, wing in motion to the left. Quick drop by Samuels. Throws too high. Tipped up. Grabbed by Kennard. Kennard at the 30. Down to 25. And steps out of bounds at the 24-yard line. The ball was thrown a bit too far out in front of the Wisconsin receiver. He tipped it up in the air. And Lamar Kennard, the former walk-on, is in motion. Dicken with a call. There's the hitch pattern out to Sutherland with a couple of blockers. He cuts back at the 22. Now comes to the near side, breaks through, gets away at the 15. He's to the 10, and he's down inside the 5. 1st and goal. A terrific stop and go. Cut back run by Vinny on the play. Wide to the left goes Alfred. In the slot to the left is Isaac Jones. Set back is Kendall Matthews. 1st and goal from the Badger 3. They give to Matthews, and he tries the middle and gets a yard before he's shoved out of there. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Lamar Campbell made the stop for the Badgers. The Boilermakers trying for a 3rd touchdown in the first 10 minutes of play.
This Wisconsin defense has to be just a little bit shell-shocked right now. They don't know where Purdue's coming at them. It seems like everything's working for the Boilermakers. The one area that they've done a fairly good job on is when they're trying to run off tackle. Wisconsin defensed it pretty well then. They did get 2 yards out of it, so it's 2nd and goal from the 1.
And they exchange fullbacks now. Matthews leaves and Watson back in there. He's a little tougher inside the goal, down near the goal line. They give it to him, and he dives down and gets the touchdown. Edwin Watson's 2nd touchdown of the game, and Purdue has taken a 20-0 lead over the Badgers of Wisconsin with 5:14 left to go in the first quarter of play. And now you can start thinking, if you're on the Wisconsin side of the field, about throwing the ball a little more than running Ron Dane.
Well, Edwin Watson came into the game with 38 points. That was the top score for the Boilers.
There's the kick up, and it floats through the uprights. Shane Ryan.
An alliance that serves Lafayette and the surrounding areas. The coalition of these two...
Or financial institution to treat you like you own it? Visit your credit union, because you do.
Call PEFQ today. PEFQ, an equal opportunity lender, member NCUA.
96.5, the new WAZY.
21-0 Purdue over Wisconsin. The Boilermakers getting set to kick off again. Martin and Merritt are deep for the Badgers. 5:14 left to go, first quarter. Watson has scored twice, his 75-yard gallop, the longest Purdue run from the line of scrimmage since Mel Gray's 80-yarder back in 1982. Barnes from the left angle moves forward and drives it deeper this time. Backing up 5 yards deep is Merritt. He'll drop down on one knee. Ahmad will not return. And so the Badgers will start from their own 20-yard line, trailing the Boilermakers by a stunning 21-point margin here with still more than 5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. 59 degrees on hand at kickoff. The wind's north-northwest of 5 miles per hour. A perfect sun-kissed homecoming afternoon here at Ross-Ade Stadium. Now, weather's back in there. He hasn't played a whole lot this year, Pete, and I suspect he's in there because of his size and his toughness inside to try to defend against the run.
That's exactly right. Doug Withers is very tough against the run. He does not have great mobility, but they figure most of the damage from Wisconsin is going to come between the tackles.
Willie Austin, 4 catches for 68 yards on the year, wide to the near side. Simmons wide to the right. On a draw, they give to Dane.
It's critical that they try to get on Dane before he gets ahead of steam going. That's the only way to stop him.
Hayes wide to the right, Simmons wide to the near side, wing to the left. Dane is the only setback. Samuel over center, and he drops the snap from center. He picks it up, hot foots it around to the right, still looking back into the middle. He fakes, he's going to run, and he's driven down. Oh, a knee-high chopping tackle by Willie, the hitman Burrows at the Badger. Samuel won the hard way on the last play. Now Simmons and Austin are wide to the near side. Hayes wide to the right. Right-hand set eye, dropping to pass is Samuel out on the right flat. Caught Dane. He's driven back. Oh, he breaks a tackle and gets the first down. He was hit a knockback. Make that Cecil Martin his 10th catch of the year. Go with a double tight end set. Merritt is the only flanker. He's wide to the left. Left-hand set eye. And the give to Dane. He wants to run back to the right side through a hole. He's out across the 40, pulled down at the 43-yard line. 10 more yards on that carry by Ron Dane. Willie
by many broadcasters the last couple of years, but I never heard the big bowling ball from Berlin. That was a good one.
Again, Merritt wide to the near side. Double tight end set, left-hand eye. And Samuel again gives to Dane. Starts up the middle. Good footwork, but he's pulled down for no gain. Mike Rose with a great necktie or shoot.
How to stop Dane. Got to get him into the backfield before he gets going and tackle him very low. He was down by his shoelaces on that tackle.
2nd down and 9. Give him a short yard on the play. Man in motion is Graham's. Quick drop. There's that one pass route run, but caught. And across the Boilermaker 40 all the way down to the near side. Simmons, the real speedster, is wide to the right, and the give to Dane. Dane bangs straight ahead and carries a couple of Boilermakers backwards across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Burrows again took most of the brunt of Dane's charge that time, and with some help from his buddies pulled him down. Also Leo Perez helping out on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down for the Badgers, and let's call it the Boilermaker 35-yard line. 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
You're seeing the classic offenses by both teams. This is Wisconsin offense. You give it to Dane right, you give it to Dane left, and then every once in a while throw in a pass. They really only have one pass route, and it's been effective against the Boilermakers. They've kept them out of the end zone, however.
Simmons wide to the right. Hayes wide to the near side. Wing to the left. Now in motion to the right is Eric Grams, the tight end. And the give to Dane. Breaks an arm tackle. Sidesteps another Boilermaker across the 30. Near first down territory near the 28. Penn was one completed pass and a 2-point conversion try late in the ball game away from tying it up at Camp Randall Stadium.
And Joe, you just made an excellent comment that tempered my enthusiasm and optimism just a bit. Last year, Wisconsin did jump out to that 24-0 lead, but Purdue made a great game of it and almost came back in the end. Wisconsin held on to win that football game. That 21-point lead is great, but it's still the first quarter.
Oh, yeah. They gave him the first down. I thought that was a favorable spot. I formation, double tight end set. And they give to the short back, Martin, and they try to pop him through, and he gets inside the 25, dragging a Boilermaker another yard or two down to the 23-yard. That's the end of the first quarter. Wisconsin driving deep in Purdue territory, but the Boilermakers leading the Badgers 21-0. We'll take this break. You're listening to Boilermaker Football.
Luxury is often a matter of degrees.
More than 3 minutes of possession.
And coming into this game, Purdue was dead last in the Big Ten for time of possession, but with this offense, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Faulkner from Muncie is in there. He's a redshirt freshman. He's the backup tailback. In motion is Sondrup, the tight end, to give to Faulkner, and behind a charging line, he battles his way inside the 20, down to about the 19 yards, picked up 7 there. Now, another Hoosier from Lawrence Central High School, Brandon Cantrell, is in at fullback. So they've got an all-Indiana backfield in there at running back for the Badgers now. Double tight end set. Cantrell goes in motion to the left-hand side, and Samuel drops back to throw. Has time. Arches one in the right corner of the end zone, and it's dropped. Oh, that should have been a touchdown, and Donald Hayes dropped the ball.
To get around, they put Colvin on his back that time, but Roosevelt, such a hustler, still got back up. But I like the play. Put a man in motion, had 2 receivers out left, then threw right.
Here's the 12th play of the drive. 2nd down and 10 from the Boilermaker 18, and to give to Faulkner behind a wedge block, but they can't spring him loose, and he's grabbed and pulled down from behind. Cincinnati, and he held Faulkner to a 3-yard gain there when it looked like he was about to pop out of the bottle there.
Boy, and I tell you, the Boilermakers can really use Brent Botts and David Nugent and Foggio and Warren Moore, those backup defensive linemen, because you will be taking a beating with this big offensive line. It's good to see him in there.
Huntley and Hayes are wide to the near side. Simmons wide to the left. Now Hayes goes in motion on 3rd down and 7. Quick drop by Samuel. Look right now, throws left, and the catch is made, and Rose flattens the receiver at the 14-yard line. The receiver is 0 for 1 today. He hooked badly wide left, one from 42 yards out. This one will be 10 yards closer towards the south goal post here. This will be a try of 32 yards for Davenport, who is now 7 of 9 as he lines this one up from the far left hash mark. Rosga the holder. There's a snap, the placement, and the kick is on the way, and it is good, and the Badgers are on the board. With 13:06 left to go in the first half, Matt Davenport chips through a 32-yarder, and Purdue.
It would be after seeing that Minnesota defense last week.
I guess. Oh, my. Badgers set to kick off. There's the boot. High sailor, clomped into the far side, backs up, takes it 3 yards deep in the end zone, and they almost tackled him at the goal line again. They said, no. So the Boilermakers will start from their own 20-yard line, leading 21-3 here. Still 13 minutes left to play in the first half. That Wisconsin drive took 14 plays to go 66 yards, and Davenport, with his 8th field goal and 10 tries of the year, a 32-yarder, are still working on Ron Dane, and it appears to be a knee. And boy, that would be a big break for the Boilermakers if he doesn't come back today. And it would really, really hurt the Badgers, I would think, emotionally. Purdue comes out ready to run the first offensive play, and Winston's in for the first time. Lines up in a slot to the right-hand side, inside Alford. Slot to the left-hand side. Shotgun spread for Dicken. And this time he's got Matthews to his right-hand side at tailback. Now he shifts him to the left-hand side. Direct snap to Dicken. He calls his own number, a draw, runs up the middle across the 20 and out to about the 22-yard line. The Badgers did a quick job of, they've yet to have a 3rd down situation on offense.
I'll tell you, Joe, that play only netted 2 yards for the Boilermakers, but it's still a great play because that play forces the middle linebackers from Wisconsin to play the run honestly and not drop back into pass protection.
Trips to the right, single setback is Matthews. Now he starts in motion to the left-hand side. Bringing the linebacker with him. Dicken, a deep pass drop, looks, fires, loss over the middle, wide open Blackman, he makes the catch, he's to the 50, the 45, the 40, he rumbles to the 30, drop the ball, and the Badgers recover it at the Wisconsin 18-yard line. Blackman finally hangs on, and the Badgers get it back at their own 18-yard line. That was a 60-yard pass play to Blackman, who did everything but hang on to the football.
And that is not good for the Purdue defense. They have been on this field. Purdue is scoring so quickly they can't afford turnovers. They have been on the field almost this entire first half, and they're getting pounded by 310-pound men. It's going to take its toll.
Well, I tell you what, I just never seen an offense work this well. The Badgers are being picked apart almost every down. Back to throw, hitch pattern on the right side. Simmons makes the catch. Boy, he blasted one Boilermaker, wriggled his way across the 30. Simmons and Hayes both wide to the left-hand side, wing to the right. They have a double tight end set. Grams and Sondrup are both in at tight end, and they give to Faulkner, comes to the near side. Hit by Fels, turned around and planted at the 34-yard line. A pick. Well, Blackman's 5th catch of the year turned out to be quite an adventure, a 60-yard pickup, but a loss of possession. And that is only the 2nd fumble I think the Boilermakers have lost this year.
Now they're even in the turnover department.
For the day, 1 apiece. Samuel, play action fake, rolls to the right, throws out of the backfield, and it's caught and out of bounds. Goes the tight end Grams at the 4th offense here this afternoon.
This is a 3rd and a very short 2, about 1.5 yards actually. And when you're playing behind this size of an offensive line, you just assume they're going to take it up in the middle. However, Barry Alvarez is known for making some strange calls and some surprising calls. They've got some great speed at wideout, so it could be a fake as well.
Cantrell in there at fullback, lines up on a left-hand eye, and now Samuel looks wide to the left, goes Simmons. Double tight end set. Cantrell is still in it, blocking back to the left-hand side of Dane. Now they start the flanker in motion. That's Simmons. Play action fake, looking deep for Simmons, one-on-one coverage. Samuel airs it out, double coverage for the Boilermakers, and it's intercepted by Lee Brush. Lee Brush with the interception. It looked like a jump ball, and the receiver had to come. 2 for the Boilermakers today and 10 on the year now for a team that didn't get 10 picks all last year.
And another big suspect part of the defense coming into the season was that all-new defensive backfield, but 10 picks is outstanding.
Shotgun spread, slot to the right, Alford wide to the near side, inside handoff to Kendall Matthews, and he gets short yardage to the 15. A pickup of 3 on the play. Tom Burke. Second down for Purdue. 7 yards to go at the Boilermaker 15. Trips to the right, slot to the left, Dicken over center. The Badgers showing blitz here. See if the Boilermaker line can pick it up. Now they back away. Quick drop by Dicken, pumps, fires out on the right side, caught, and that's Gabe Cox. He's across the 30-yard line, first down, and that's his first catch since opening night at Toledo.
That was a pump fake that was planned, and it worked beautifully for the first down.
Shotgun spread, slot to the left, offered wide to the right. Matthews to the right-hand side of Dicken, takes the inside handoff, tries to slip a man, does, and gets 5 out to the 35-yard line.
Losses, so were the front 7 of the defense. 5 of the front 7, including Pete Monty, their all-time leading tackler, and Tarek Sala, their all-time leading sack leader, both gone playing in the NFL now.
Yeah, Monty had about 1,000 tackles in 4 years up there. Slot to the left, slot to the right, and again the inside handoff. Matthews caught by an ankle as he's pulled down near the 38-yard line. And pass of the year today. Wide to the near side is Alford, double tight end set. Dicken over center. Play action fake, rolls to the left. He's got a blocker. He's got the first down at the 40. Tight ropes up the 45 and steps out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Lasik.
They really are. That was a great play call. They had everybody inside trying to stop the run. Billy just kept it himself. And Billy's got sneaky kind of speed. He doesn't look that fast, but obviously he's having a great rushing year.
Trips to the left-hand side, slot to the right. Nobody behind Dicken on first down. That was the first third down try for Purdue. Direct snap to Dicken out of the gun. Winds up, fires downfield, has a man open, and that's Winston. He's across the 40. Roller skates out of bounds at the Badger 38-yard line. Donald Winston with his first
defense because he's an exciting player.
He had 12 stitches in his chin after that one was over. Matthews back in at tailback, slot to the right, Alford wide to the near side. Dicken hands off to Matthews, sidearms one man and battles his way for about 3 down to the 35-yard line. Tom Burke made the stop. Time to give recognition again. This is in manhandling most of the teams they've played this year. Dicken has only been sacked 9 times, and the offensive line has really done a great job. Wide to the right now goes Watson. Trips to the near left-hand side. Dicken in the gun. Now, having said that, he'll probably get sacked on this play. He winds up, fires downfield. Alford with his first catch at the 25-yard line at Wisconsin territory. Another. Now he's back in at flanker, lining up inside Alford, wide to the right. Slot to the near left-hand side. That's Sutherland inside Tillman. Matthews, the tailback, and he gets the handoff, breaks a tackle at the 25, the 15, and down to the 12-yard line, and making a touchdown.
Where to stop them? They've got 2 great runners, and they've got receivers all over the football field.
Billi Dicken is 6 of 7 for 146 yards and 1 touchdown. He has completed 6 straight. Trips to the left-hand side, wide receiver to the right, and he wants to draw. Sidesteps 2 Badgers, gets inside the 10, pulls that foot away, and dives to the 7-yard line. That time, Dickens quick 5-2.
That's a great crowd for Purdue standards the last 10 years, but I'll tell you something, Joe. They keep this up, and they keep playing football like this. That's going to seem like a small crowd in about a year.
May seem like a small crowd when Michigan State comes in here in a couple of weeks. Trips to the right, Watson wide to the left, now in motion through to the right-hand side. Dicken throws the hitch out of the right side to Isaac Jones inside the 5 down to the goal line, and he scores! Touchdown, Purdue! Isaac Jones! Oh, my, a 7-yard touchdown. And the carnage continues, 27-3 Purdue.
That was a touchdown by the ref standards, but I'll tell you, Tillman did something pretty shifty. They tackled him a little bit short, and while he was on the ground, he put the ball over the end zone, and that's all the referee said. So
Isaac Jones with his first touchdown catch of the day, his second of the year. Here's the kick up, and it is good. 28-3 Boilermakers.
Sale is on at Bill DeFow's in Lafayette.
96.5 WAZY.
Let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to the Learfield Purdue Sports Network.
96.5, the new WACY Lafayette, serving north central Indiana for over 30 years.
Billi Dicken has completed 7 of 8 passes for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has picked on 6 different receivers to complete his 7 passes, and his rushing totals are almost as impressive. 57 yards on the ground. So Dicken continues to pile up impressive numbers here, and the Boilermakers now lead the Badgers thanks to an 11-play, 88-yard drive, 28-3. Merritt and Martin are deep. Here's the kick by Arntz, driving deep in the end zone, 8 yards deep. It will not be returned. Badgers will start from their own 20-yard line. Merritt dropping down on his right knee. The only time the Boilermakers didn't score when they had the ball today was at the end of a 60-yard pass to John Blackman, who fumbled, and the Badgers recovered at their own 18-yard line. There hasn't been anything close to a Purdue punt today.
Well, and Brandon Kaiser's leading the Big Ten in punts, but he's not in the national rankings because he doesn't get enough punts to qualify.
Right. Well, he's only, golly, looking at the sheet today, Brandon has only kicked the ball 14 times this year. Of course, they haven't used him on pooch punts. Rogers has done a great job averaging 39 yards on short kicks, and I don't think Rogers has even attempted a punt in the last 3 or 4 ball games. Double tight end set, and they give to big Ron Dane, and he didn't get an inch that time. He stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Yard gain, 2nd down and 9. That's 70 yards here in the first half and 13 carries for the Great Dane.
And again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Wisconsin eventually is going to have to get out of their game plan because their drives take too long. They're down by 25.
Wing to the left. Balanced set of wide receivers. Samuel rolling to the left, looking now, fires to the sideline, and short hops Kevin Huntley, and it's kicked out of bounds on the short hop after it bounced away from Huntley by Lee Brush, who was over there, got the pick a moment ago. Hawthorne was covering on the play. He had outside coverage, and Brush, the safety, had inside coverage on that play. And that brings up 3rd and 9 for the Badgers now. And they put in Simmons and Willie Austin, a sophomore from Miami, back in there as they change wide receivers here.
Despite the great speed at wide receiver for Wisconsin, they came into the game 2nd in the last Big Ten for passing offense, 163.1 a game.
They're very Neanderthal in their approach.
Very much so.
Slot to the right, wide slot to the left. This is as wide open as we've seen the Badgers line up. Now in motion hard to the left is Hayes. Back to throw is Samuels, looking, fires over the middle, and it's caught. It was almost picked. I thought that ball might get picked off by Willie Fells, but the 9 of 15 in the first half for 98 yards. But don't forget, they did drop a short touchdown pass in the right corner of the end zone.
Well, Willie Fells had great coverage, just developed some crocodile arms. If he would have got those arms out, he had a chance on an interception.
Left-hand eye. And running laterally with the keeper is Samuels, breaks an arm tackle by Rose and gets out to the 50-yard line. Leo Perez made the stop. Some good lateral movement by the big defensive tackle out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois. He's a senior, a 280-pounder, a gain of 4 as Samuels run what appeared to be almost an option that time, but he kept the ball, and Rose got an arm on him but couldn't hold him.
Rose was in excellent position, but he overran the quarterback a little bit. He was exactly where he should have been, but didn't identify the ball quick enough.
Austin is wide to the left. Wide to the near side is Kevin Huntley out of Fremont, Ohio. Now they drop a wing to the left. That's Graham's. Dane is the setback. Graham's in motion to the right. Quick 2-step drop, square out on the left side, caught by the youngster Austin, and he's inside the Boilermaker 40 at the 38-yard line. And that time, the Purdue secondary gave way too much cushion.
And what are those Bull Scouts, all the Bull Scouts that are here today, what are they thinking about this Purdue team right now?
Left-hand eye, balanced set of wide receivers after that 11-yard pickup. Dropping back to throw is Samuel, side steps to the right, now comes back to the left, throws, and the pass is complete and out of bounds at the Purdue 21-yard line. And there's a flag, maybe a late hit on the Boilermakers.
Looked like he was trying to keep him from going out. They're talking about they may pull that flag back up.
And they wave it off. That's the first time in the college ranks I've ever seen them wave off a penalty. You see it in the NFL more often than you do in the NCAA, but they waved it off, and that's a good call.
Well, you knew that it was a good call because it took place right in front of the Wisconsin fans, and nobody even booed when they picked it up.
Fourth quarter score from Happy Valley. The Gophers still lead the top-ranked Nittany Lions of Penn State 15-10.
Wow.
That means a touchdown could bail out the Nittany Lions, but wouldn't be surprised if they lose their #1 ranking anyway, even if they pull that out. There's a handoff to Dane up the middle inside the 15, and he looked a lot quicker that time. He stretched it out to the 12-yard line, picked up almost 9 yards on the play. Willie Burroughs made the stop, and the Badgers are looking now for their first touchdown of the game as they are deep in the red zone at the Boilermaker 12-yard line with 3:15 left to play in the first half. Purdue leading 28-3.
Brock Spack was trying to get a couple of second-teamers in to give those guys a break, but didn't have time, so he brought him back to the sidelines. But again, that defense has to be gasping for air right now.
Slot to the near right-hand side. Simmons and Hayes. Hayes in the slot, double tight end set. And they give to Dane again. Both arms wrapped on the football. Sidesteps one man. Dives inside the 5. First and goal to the 3-yard line. And Dane looks like he's recovered from whatever problems he had earlier on those last 2 carries. Adrian Beasley tripped him up, or Dane would have rumbled into the end zone with his first touchdown of the day and his 14th of the year. That was a 9-yard pickup there. He's going to have close to that 100 yards in the first half here. He's got 88 and 15 carries, and the Badgers have a first down and goal at the Boilermaker 4-yard line. We're in the final 3 minutes of play. First half, Purdue leading 28-3. Simmons and Hayes are both wide to the left. Double tight end set. Dane is the only setback. Over center, Mike Samuel with a call. Gives to Dane straight ahead. Touchdown, Wisconsin. He just blasted right through the line and went in standing 4 yards out. That's touchdown number 14 for Dane this year, 35 on his career, snapping a second-place tie on the all-time Wisconsin touchdown list. And the Badgers have their first touchdown of the ball game to make it 28-9 with 2:23 left to play in the half. And whatever was ailing the great Dane is history at this point, because the last 3 carries he looked just like he did at the start of the ball game.
Well, Dane is a great back, but he showed his youth a little bit on that play. He got a little cocky and was a little pompous in the end zone. He forgot to take a look at the scoreboard.
80 yards and 9 plays. Go the Badgers. There's the snap, and the placement kick by Matt Davenport is good. And it's 28-10 now in favor of Purdue. A 2-1 edge in time of possession. Today's broadcast brought to you in part by your local Chrysler and Plymouth dealer, home of the minivan store. Clopton, the freshman, true freshman, waiting at the goal line. Davenport moves forward. It's a high end-over-end kick against the wind, but it sails 5-6 yards deep in the end zone. Clopton will not bring it out. Really, there's not much of a breeze at all here today. Flag is hanging limp atop of the big Jumbotron scoreboard atop the south end zone. So the Boilermakers start from their own 20-yard line with 2:17 left to go, leading 28-10 here late in the first half. How many bowl committees are here on hand today? 7? 7 different bowls have sent representatives to this football game today. And, of course, the Badgers still in great shape. Even if the Boilermakers defeat them today, they would be 6-2. But the win would be very pivotal to a Boilermaker winning season, their first on the field since 1984. I say on the field because they did receive a forfeit victory from Michigan State, which gave them a 5-4-2 record in '95. Watson is back in at tailback. Slot to the near left-hand side. Alford wide to the right. Dicken back to throw. Sets up, throws a screen out on the right side to Watson. He's at the 20, but the Badgers sniffed that out and pin him for no gain on the play. 2 Badgers over there, led by David Lysick. With some help from Donnie Eichert, the 2 linebackers did a great job of playing off the block, holding Watson to no gain on the completed pass.
They did do a great job defensively on that play because they did have a blocker out there, and the linebacker just schooled him. I think that might even have been a Kobe, who is a great downfield blocker, but he was not able to do the job on that play.
Second down, give him a short yard on the play. Slot to the near left-hand side, trips to the right. Dicken standing about 5 yards behind the center. Jimmy Niedrich takes the snap from center, waits, fires over the middle, and Winston dropped the ball incomplete. Had to stretch that little 5'6" frame out in front of him. Would have had the first down had he been able to hang on, but the ball was about a half stride too far out in front of him and uncatchable on that play. That'll bring up 3rd down and 9 yards to go. And this is only the second time Purdue's offense has even gotten to 3rd down today. Now here comes Chris Daniels, a much bigger wide receiver in, along with Isaac Jones. And the Boilermakers will go with a spread here. That's Dicken's first incompleted pass this quarter. He's 6 of 7 here in the second quarter.
And this is a big third down conversion for the Boilermakers with 1:29 left. They don't want to give it back to Wisconsin.
Trips to the left, slot to the right. Dicken in the shotgun spread. And he takes the snap from center, gets all kinds of time to throw, pumps, rolls to his right, looking downfield, fires on the move, and it's caught by Sutherland. First down at the 36-yard line.
That Billi Dicken has found in the first half 8 different receivers, and that is just absolutely unheard of.
How many passes completed? 10?
11 passes completed, I believe. 9.
8 receivers, 9 completed passes.
Yeah.
Shotgun spread. Dicken, quick drop, looks, fires. He's got a long pass down the right side, and it is intercepted by the Badgers. A terrific play.
State. He's nicknamed Soup, and he got burned on that same play earlier in the game, but this time did a good job of putting himself in position to make the interception and made a great athletic move to stop the Boilermakers.
He doesn't make the pick. Purdue might have another 6. Here come the Badgers now with 1:17 left to play in the half. Purdue leading 28-10. Samuel brings him up, slot to the near right-hand side. And on a draw, he gives to Dane. Dane, if he'd have gone outside, he might have picked up a lot more yards than he did. But he runs over about 3 Boilermaker defenders and chugs out close to 5 yards on the play. Chucky Wakori will get part of the stop, although there were 3 or 4 golden helmeted black jersey Boilermakers there to bring him down. And the Badgers used their second timeout to stop the clock at the Wisconsin 40-yard line with 1:04 left to play in the first half as Dane closes in on the 100-yard rushing mark now. He has 97 yards in 17 first half carries and the Badgers' only touchdown. You know, Sprint's always looking for new ways to help your business score. Call Sprint Business. We help your business do more business.
That last play was a perfect example of how far this Purdue defense has come this year. Although statistically they're not going to raise any eyebrows because they have given up some yards, they have given up some scoring, but they have 10 guys around the ball every play. On that particular play, that was about a 5-yard gain that you're willing to give with 1:04 left in the half. And there were 10 Boilermakers surrounding the football by the time the whistle blew, and that's something that defensive coordinator Brock Spack teaches. He's going to have the guys out there, they're going to be hustling to the football, and that's been very evident in this Boiler defense this season.
Well, they have to play the Badgers that way. If they don't, Dane will just carry 1 or 2 defenders as far as he needs to go.
The only time you see Dane go down when one guy is tackling is if they get him around the ankles.
Yep. All right, the Badgers have 1 timeout left to burn. Now they're going to line up trips on the near right-hand side. Dane is the setback. They start Hundley in motion through to the left-hand side. And back to throw is Samuel. Sets up deep. Looking screen. Here it comes. And it's one-handed by Dane, who falls down on the play at the 41-yard line. That was such an obvious screen set up with a deep drop. Willie Fells was covering on the play, but Dane fell down by his lonesome. And a break for the Boilermakers in more ways than one because the clock continues to run now. Less than 45 seconds left to go. Badgers without a huddle. And the Boilermakers fire offside. It's Roosevelt Colvin. And it appeared, the Boilermakers are pointing to the Badgers saying they drew him offside. Now let's see what the call is here.
Well, Colvin went first, but McIntosh did move with Colvin, so it's going to be up to the referees to make that decision.
And it's going against the gold and black, and that gives Wisconsin a first down at the 46-yard line in Badger territory with 40 seconds to play. And that also stopped the clock.
The Boilermakers are pointing to left tackle 6'7", 319-pound Chris McIntosh, and he did move when Colvin came across the line, but I think Colvin was 5 yards behind him by the time he did.
McIntosh is only a shadow compared to his counterpart at right tackle, Eric Gibson. Slot to the near right-hand side, wide receiver to the left. Samuel to throw, looking, sidesteps the rush, winds up, fires deep down the right side, incomplete. That time, oh my! They're going to very late call, and they're going to call.
2 times in one game, Mr. McConnell. That may never happen again.
In Division I, you're right. All right, the Badgers have it at the 46-yard line. 2nd down and 10, 18 seconds left to play. Trips to the left-hand side. Simmons, Hayes, and Huntley. Dane is the running back. Samuel over center. Drops to throw. Looking, sidesteps to the left. Here comes the rush. Comes back to the right, gets away. Looking downfield, throws on the run, and a juggle and drop out of bounds. Simmons came back to help him out. Ran a beautiful route, but from their own 46-yard line, but more importantly, only 9 seconds left to go in the half. And Mike Samuel back to throw. It gets away, winds up, fires it deep down the left side. There's going to be a jump ball here. And it's incomplete inside the Boilermaker 10 at the 7-yard line, and we're out of time. That's the end of the first half as the two clubs head to the locker room. Purdue leading Wisconsin 28-10 here at halftime. Tim Newton will have our halftime show and some of the highlights coming up next on the Purdue halftime show. You're listening to Boilermaker Football.
Hey, race fans, how would you like to win $100,000?
Amazing stat. Purdue averaged over 13 yards of play in the first half.
All right, we're set to go now. Martin on the far side, Merritt on the near side, Arndt from the left angle, hits it high and deep, end over end kick. Again, it's going into the end zone. Merritt bobbles it, knocks it out, picks it up at the 2-yard line, sidesteps a man at the 5. Is going to be gang tackle right there. He misplayed that all the way. He looked like he was indecisive on whether he wanted to run or whether he wanted to down the ball and wound
from their own 5-yard line.
Dane needs 3 yards to crack the century mark. He lines up 2 yards deep in the end zone, double tight end set, balanced wide receivers on either side. They give to Dane, and he's going to be gang tackled at the line of scrimmage. He didn't get anything there. Mike Rose about a yard short of his career average, and he winds up with nothing on his first try here in the second half.
Conversely, Eddie Watson for the Boilermakers only had the ball 4 times, but he had 2 touchdowns and 77 yards.
Wing to the right. Now in motion to the left. Dane is set up again deep in the end zone. Samuel back to throw. Fires out on the left flat. It's caught at the 10, 15, 20. Sondren across the 20-yard line. Out of bounds at the 22.
That's something that's hurt Purdue defensively all season long. They don't do a great job on those delayed receivers. He hesitated before he went out. He was wide open.
Slot to the far left-hand side. Double tight end set. And they give to Dane, tries the left side and breaks a tackle. Strong legs it across the 25 and finally gets swarmed under near the 27 or 8-yard line. They're going to give him the... He just continues to add to his luster as a Wisconsin running back, 104 yards and 19 carries. Wide to the near side comes Willie Austin. He caught a 25-yarder in the first half for the Badgers. Wing to the left. Simmons is wide to the left. And they give to Dane. He wants to run to the left-hand side, and the Boilermakers are waiting for him, and they stop him short of the 30-yard line. They're doing a better job for the Badgers, about 2 yards to go.
That's the recipe to stop Rod Dane. You have to get to him quickly, and you have to get to him low, and that's very difficult to do when you're running behind a line the size of Wisconsin's line.
Wisconsin 3 of 7 in third down conversions. They were 50-50 coming in. Play action to Dane, bootleg to the left. Colvin out there, but he dumps the ball away. Samuel hits the tight end, and Graham's across the 40 out to the 41-yard line. Willie fell. And
Colvin's out. Warren Moore's in for him.
Joe Tiller continues, along with Brock Spack, to try to rotate fresh bodies in there for this defense that's played most of the game. Handoff, it goes to Faulkner, who's in there now. He breaks a tackle, gets to the outside across the 45, and he's out to the 47-yard line where Kennard and Fells bring him down.
1,441 career yards. That's high school's best ever.
Badgers do a great job of recruiting the state of Indiana. They line up in the eye this time. Double tight end set. Flanker wide to the right. Here comes the fullback, and they give to Faulkner up the middle, and he's cut down at the 49-yard line. Final score. Michigan comes back to topple the Iowa Hawkeyes 28-24. So Michigan and Penn State both dodge upset bullets at home today. Warren Moore made the stop for the Boilermaker defensive unit just short of the 50-yard line. That's going to bring up third down and 2 yards to go. Michigan comes from behind to beat Iowa. They were down 14 at one point, so they beat Iowa at Ann Arbor. And, of course, Penn State trailed Minnesota all day and came back to nip the Gophers 16-15 at Happy Valley. Here we go. Third down and 2 for the Badgers at the 50-yard line. I got to believe they're almost in 4-down territory here. Bootleg to the right. Samuels looking downfield, throws, and the catch is made by the fullback Martin, and he's knocked out of bounds by Beasley on the near side.
Starting to burn him a little bit. They're giving those quick passes to the tight ends and the backs out of the backfield.
Badgers closing in on the total yardage for the ball game. Wide to the left is Hayes. Wide to the near side is Simmons. Right-hand set eye. And play action that goes to Faulkner, and here comes a rush, and they throw it out on the right flat end.
What a great call by defensive coordinator Brock Spack. He brought Lee Brush up on the line of scrimmage, and Lee Brush has been a playmaker his entire career here at Purdue. He's always involved in the big ones. That was a big one there.
Simmons and Hayes both wide to the left. I formation, Faulkner dotting the I, and they give to him. Big hole up the middle, breaks into the secondary, tripped up by Beasley as he gets to the 30 to the 29. He picked up.
We blitz more. That's a great example why they brought both linebackers. Purdue got caught. once he got past the line of scrimmage, he had a lot of running room.
Wide to the left goes Tony Simmons. Wide to the near side comes Donald Hayes. Dane is back in there now as the only setback. Double tight end set. And they give to Dane up the middle. Short, straight arms a man at the 25 and blasts his way down to the 20 to the 19-yard line. Close to another first down. Dane now with 113 for the ball game. He lines up as the setback. Slot to the near right-hand side. Huntley and Austin. Samuel over center. Gives to Dane. Cuts back to the left. Bangs into one of his own blockers. Breaks a tackle inside the 15. Dives to the 11-yard line. First down Badgers. Successful drive of the game started at their own 5-yard line after they messed up the opening kickoff in the second half, and now they're just outside the Boilermaker 11-yard line. 13th play of the drive coming up. Huntley and Austin wide to the near side. Wing to the left. They give to Ron Dane. He wants to run to the short side of the field. Well, Corey catches up from behind and with slot to the right-hand side. Dane is the setback. Second down and 7 from the 8-yard line. And this time bootlegging to the left is Samuel. Looking now. He's going to run. And Rose lets him slip off, and he gets in for the touchdown. Rose had him over to the 6-yard line. He just couldn't contain Samuel, who lowered his head. And once he got by the linebacker, he got cartwheeled at the goal line and goes in for the touchdown. And an 8-yard run for Samuel and his 7th touchdown of the year. And the Badgers are back in this one, folks. It's 28-16.
Mike Rose just hesitated a count before he committed to taking away the run, and that's all the quarterback needed to take it in for the TD. Mike Rose was in position, but just waited just a little bit too long.
Now the pressure returns to the Boilermaker offense to try to generate either another score or to at least run some clock for the defensive unit when they get the ball. There's a snap a bit high, but Rosga, the punter, the holder, gets it down. And
feel good about for a long time. It's the same when you choose an insurance agent for yourself. You want one who will stand the test of time. And with State Farm, you'll get an agent you can trust and life insurance from a company that has received the highest possible ratings for financial strength from 5 leading rating services. So call your agent today and work with a name that'll sound just as good when your kids are grown up as it does today. State Farm understands life.
All right, we're set to go now. 28-17, Purdue leading Wisconsin. Now the Badgers have had the football for over 26 minutes. Purdue for 10.5. The Badgers had it for 6:32 in that opening drive of the second half. 95 yards in 14 plays. And they are back in this one, folks. Purdue with 353 yards in total offense. They haven't snapped the ball on offense yet in the second half. And now the Badgers have 341 yards in total offense. Davenport set to kick it away. Chris Clopton waiting at the goal line at the south goal for the Boilermakers. 54,252 here for homecoming 97. They watched the Boilermakers roll away early, 28-3, but the Badgers have gotten on the board with the last 2 touchdowns.
Chris Clopton, one of the unsung heroes this year, true freshman, doing a great job on the returns.
High end over end kick. And it goes back into the end zone, 8-9 yards deep, and Clopton just drops down on one knee. They didn't have to tell him to stay in there that time. An early start demands a strong finish. Get both with the timed release control of top-notch corn herbicide from Zeneca. Apply up to 6 weeks prior to planting to control grasses and small seeded broadleaves all season long. And I guess you could use the first line in that drop. An early start demands a strong finish to describe what the Boilermakers need right now.
That I was just about to say what a timely commercial that was, because that's exactly what Purdue has to do. They can't afford to sit back and rest on their accomplishments offensively in the first half. They need to keep it going.
Trips to the right, slot to the left, nobody behind Dicken. Let's see what kind of adjustments the Badgers make defensively here. Dicken, there's that hitch bubble screen out on the right side, and he underthrew Sutherland out of bounds, incomplete. That time the Badgers reacted like it might be a fumble. This is something that they may have.
The defense did exactly what they needed to do. Even if that had not been underthrown, I don't think he would have had many yards out of it.
Sutherland inside Tillman, wide to the near side. Winston inside Alford, wide to the right. One setback behind Dicken, and it's Watson. And he gets the handoff, and he is going to be anchored for a big loss. A loss of 4 yards on the play. Badgers.
Big. You don't want to bring the defense back right away, and they're in a tough position. But Barry Alvarez has been very successful at Wisconsin. One of the reasons he is an extremely masterful motivator, and this Wisconsin team has come to play in the second half. They have not given this game up.
Boilermakers need a big play here. Watson wide to the right, trips to the near left-hand side. Dicken in the shotgun spread. Oh, takes that quick snap, and we got a flag thrown to stop the play. That ball almost shot right down. Bring things more into perspective. Wisconsin has outscored the Boilermakers 17-7 since the first quarter. Trips to the right, Watson to the left. They stay in the same formation. Dicken about 5 yards behind the center. Badgers drop off before the snap. Dicken looks, unloads deep, looking for Tillman down the left side, and he breaks it up. Suttle had a chance to pick it off. There were two Badgers back there, and Tillman went from offense to defense there and broke up the pass, keeping it from being intercepted. And here comes Brandon Kaiser in for the first time today. The Boilermakers forced to punt, and this time deep in their own territory. And Kaiser leads the Big Ten with a 46.6 yard average in 14 previous punts. Now, Ahmad Merritt is back in single punt safety at the Badger 45-yard line. There's a snap from center a bit low. The rush is there, and he booms a high spiraling kick. A beauty, and it's taken. There's a flag against the Boilermakers. They didn't allow him enough time to catch the ball. He caught it anyway, but the Boilermakers.
96.5, the new WACY Lafayette, serving North Central Indiana for over 30 years.
First down for the Badgers, and Faulkner is back in at tailback. He tries left guard and tackle and works his way up near the faster Ron Dane. Dane's in there most of the time, but then they have put Faulkner in there just enough to keep the Boilermakers a step off stride. Wide to the left now goes Kevin Huntley. Wide to the near side comes Simmons. Second down and 6. The Badgers at the 50-yard line. Again, they give to Faulkner. He's pinned by Wakori for a big loss at the 46-yard line. Oh, he blew in there.
This is a huge third down conversion for the Boilermakers defensively. If they can stop them here, get that offense back on the field, that would be a huge play for the Boilers.
Sure would. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Dane is in at fullback now. Here's the call by Samuel on third down and 10. Boilermakers showing blitz. Here comes, and they give to Dane up the middle. He's tripped up and dropped as he got to the 50-yard line. I thought he was going to go down at the 47, and somehow it's Wisconsin's first punt that I can recall. Stemke is in to punt. He's averaging 45 yards a punt. High snap, but he gets it down and gets the kick away. Sutherland is deep, and he runs under it and lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone. He made a fake fair catch and ran all the way up to the 20-yard line. That ball bounced about 8 yards deep in the end zone and went 30 yards over his head. 49-yard Kevin Thirsty Spirit Store in West Lafayette. Two locations, Purdue West and Chauncey Hill. First down, Boilermakers from the 20-yard line. Handoff to Edwin Watson up the middle. Almost broke the first tackle, but Lysick held on long enough to get some contain help when they pull him back. He got about 5 for a touchdown. Then he scored another short yardage touchdown from 2 yards out.
And that's what they did well in the first half. Get the 5 yards on the first down, open up some options.
Trips to the right. Watson wide to the near side. Dicken over center. Quick three-step drop out on the right flat. Great catch by Cox, who's got the first down. And that was a dangerous, dangerous pass. Out on the right flat and right.
They're talking about John Blackman making a reception earlier for the first time since the opening game at Toledo. Same with Cox.
Yep.
3 against Toledo and none until today.
Trips to the near left-hand side. Watson's a setback. First down. And they give to Edwin. And Edwin just gets a yard, and that's about it as they double him up and twist him back. Tom Burke leading the way.
More than usual. Maybe try to get the defense a break more than trying to burn time off the clock.
Tillman, Alford, and Jones all wide to the near side. Now Watson in motion out of the backfield to the right. Dicken drops to throw. Looks, could have run, fires instead. Caught by Blackman, he's to the 50. Tripped up, he has the first down. And this time he held on to the pigskin, folks.
John Blackman fumbles earlier, comes back, and makes a great play.
Alford wide to the right, slot to the left. Tillman and Jones. And a high snap, but Dicken gets it down, gives to Watson, and Watson is knocked down at the Badger 45-yard line. More importantly, even than the time that the Boilermaker offense is giving the defense right now, is the change in field position as they've gotten the ball back into Badger territory at the Wisconsin 45, 2nd and 9. And we're closing in on the 2-minute mark to go in the third quarter. Purdue leading the Badgers 28-17.
And every second that ticks off while that offense is on the field is just a little bit more rest for that exhausted defense. They're all sitting together on the bench They look like they've been at a war.
Winston's in the slot to the right. Alford and Sutherland as part of the trips to the near left-hand side. Out of the spread. Quick snap to Dicken over the middle. Catch is made and dropped by Winston. He flops on the ball. They're going to rule incomplete. He had it, but then he shielded the ball with his body. He may really have been juggling it, so we really can't make a determination. At any rate, it's not going to change things. It's 3rd and 9, and Isaac Jones comes out of there, replaced by Watson. He goes wide to the right. Tillman and Alford and Winston all wide to the near side. Here come the Badgers massing for an 8-9 man front. Let's see if they throw deep. Dicken looking. Now he's going to run. And now he stops. He throws. He's got a man open. Jump ball. And it's caught. Taken away by Alford. He breaks a tackle. He goes in. No, he's down to the 1-yard line. We have a flag. Alford took the ball away. I thought for a horrible
call to put it on the 1-yard line. He was clearly in the end zone.
Well, that would have tied the all-time school record, and that a timeout is taken now. The timeout is taken with 1:14 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Boilermaker offense called the timeout. They're going to come over here and talk things over. The Country Mart Co-op system is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Country Mart Co-op, bringing research, innovation, and winning performance to your farm. Confederated Insurance Company is also a sponsor today. It's our business to protect yours. Well, it's too bad only from the standpoint that a touchdown there. Alford ties the school record set by Dave Young of 27 touchdown receptions. He's only one away, but you got to figure he's got a lock for the record before this season's over. All he needs is 1 to tie and 2 to take the undisputed lead. But it's 1st and goal for the Boilermakers. More importantly, the offense is about to get a touchdown here. This would be an 80-yard drive if they can get it with 1:14 left to play in the 3rd quarter, and that would offset the Badger 95-yard touchdown march that started the 2nd half.
And it may even be an opportunity for the Boilermakers. This is going to add another 3 or 4 minutes of resting time for the defense, so that may not be all that bad as long as Purdue can punch it in from a 1-yard line. And barring a turnover, there's no reason to expect that they won't.
This is their longest drive of the day in terms of ball control, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. This will be the 8th play of the drive. Alford and Jones are wide to the right. Dicken comes up. Watson's the tailback. He's already got 2 touchdowns today. Dicken tries to sneak, doesn't get it. Well, that'll burn some time off the clock. 2nd and goal inside the 1. Haddad in there now in a shoving match with one of the Badgers. It's Crickshank, I believe, in a shoving match. No, it's Bob Adamoff, the linebacker, 29 instead of 99, as he and Haddad exchanged some pleasantries after that play was over. 2nd and goal just inside the 1-yard line as Dicken tried to sneak it in. He has 2 touchdowns already this year.
Eric Haddad has to use his head. If they would have called a flag on that play, it would have been disastrous for the Boilermakers.
Slot to the right, Alford and Jones. This time they give to Watson, and he bangs in there for the touchdown. Edwin Watson's 3rd touchdown of the game. For Watson this year, he now has 7 rushing touchdowns, 2 touchdowns by receptions. He's the Boilermakers scoring leader with 9 touchdowns. And with 34 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, the Boilermakers have answered the Wisconsin 2nd half touchdown with one of their own. Now the try for the extra point. Shane Ryan's been perfect from placement this year. Kick is up, and it is good. And it's 35-17. The Boilermakers.
The emotional side of the football game on their side of the field, and that scoring drive may have taken a little bit of the punch out of the Badgers.
Well, you would hope. And not only that, the Boilermakers were almost able to run out the clock here in the 3rd quarter, and if nothing else, the Badgers now are beginning to look at that clock more and more anxiously as this ball game progresses. Merritt and Martin are the 2 deep men, Ahmad Merritt and Cecil Martin. Purdue leading both teams with touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter. Today's broadcast of Purdue football brought to you in part by your local train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. It's also hard to stop a Dane.
18-point lead with 34 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Now they're at the point, Joe, that Wisconsin is going to have to seriously consider getting out of their normal offense. They cannot afford 6-minute scoring drives in the 4th quarter when they're down by 18.
Again, the Badgers with 12:08 advantage in ball control at this point with 34 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. And Dane has 131 yards and 23 carries. Here comes Arntz. He moves forward and drives the ball high end-over-end kick again. This time it'll be returned from the 4-yard line. It's Merritt. He's to the 10, the 15, and down. Tripped up at the 16-yard line. And that's
from the defense and guys like Stelma who just play with a lot of heart.
5'11", 185. He's a chance to walk on and having a great time. Dane and Martin are in the backfield. Right-hand eye set. And the play-action fake. Samuel throws out on the right flat, and Martin cuts back inside. And
you get life insurance for yourself. And when you call your State Farm agent, you'll get details on life insurance from a company that has received the highest possible ratings for financial strength from 5 leading rating services. So call today and help make sure that your kids will get to be kids for just as long as they please. State Farm understands life.
You can depend on us.
Ace Car Sales is offering huge discounts on their 96-97 fleet of cars and vans. Every vehicle was purchased new and serviced by Ace Rent-A-Car. Ace has a great selection of low-mileage vehicles at enormous savings. It's your opportunity to purchase a one-owner car or van that has had personalized care and maintenance at year-end clearance prices. Come in and see for yourself at 5773 West Washington Street, just east of I-465, exit 12A.
You can depend on Ace.
This is Coach Joe Tiller thanking Remax for their sponsorship with the Boilermakers.
Joe McConnell and the rest of our crew on the roof of Ross-Ade Stadium on a perfect autumn afternoon for a homecoming game, or any football game for that matter. And right now the Boilermakers have done everything they can to make this a perfect afternoon here in West Lafayette. Line. Wing back in motion, back to throw. Samuel out on the right flat, and it's caught. And battling his way for the first down is Donald Hayes, and he did a nice. Now Merritt is wide to the right, double tight end set, wing back in motion, and the give. And here comes Faulkner to the near side, or is that Dane? That's Dane. He gets out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Cut down there by.
Question is a factor, clicking down to 14 minutes. Little surprised they're not going through the air a little bit more than they are.
Yeah, time becoming a big factor in this ball game. They really need 3 scores. Slot to the right. Single setback is Dane. 2nd down and 6, the Badgers at their own 31-yard line. Samuel, quick roll out to the left. He's going to keep it this time. And, they had him for a short gain, but he managed to squeeze back inside.
3rd down and about a long 2.5, maybe almost 3, and the defense is doing their job. They're making them work for every yard they get. The clock keeps on burning, and Wisconsin seems to be taking their time in the huddle.
Huntley wide to the right. Willie Austin in the slot to the right. Double tight end set. Dane is the setback. Rolling to the left now, Samuel. Back to the right. Throws out on the right flat. Caught by Sondrup again across the 40 to the 41-yard line, and a first down. They worked that play a couple of times in the second.
He did a great job of pressuring the quarterback and made him pay after that pass. He's gotten a few good hits when he lets go of that ball.
Boilermakers late in lining up on defense. Sondrup in motion now. And to give to Dane, and Dane is swallowed up by the defensive line. Nothing there. He's still trying. He may have just barely gotten back to the line of
5 yards, but the Boilermakers are managing to keep him a full yard under his average per carry so far today.
Slot to the near left-hand side. Dane is a setback. Double tight end set. Play action, bootlegging to the right now, coming back on the left to Samuels. He throws a misdirection pass, caught at the 45 to the 50, 45-40, breaking away down the near sideline, 30. It's Dane, and Dane is finally caught by Kennard and pulled out inside the 25 at the 23. That
direction, and then a quick pass to the opposite side of the field to Dane, who had 2 blockers in front of him, and that's a dangerous combination. That was about half a ton of people.
Merritt wide to the far right-hand side. Double tight end set. Faulkner is in there, gets the handoff, and runs into a linebacker at the 21-yard line. A pickup of about...
But those linemen, 300-plus pounds, they've got to be feeling a little tired themselves right now.
Again, they stay with the one flanker to the right. Double tight end set. Bootleg to the right. There's a pass thrown quickly, and Mike Rose forced Samuel to throw that away. Incomplete. Martin was the intended receiver out on the right flat again, the fullback. There has not been a sack on either side of the line of scrimmage today, but 3 or 4 times Purdue has come awfully close to getting Samuel back there.
Well, he's been hit a few times. Mike Rose was right in his face on that play. Both the ends for Purdue, Corey and Colvin, Roosevelt Colvin, have done a good job of getting to him. And then, of course, Lee Brush probably had the best hit of the game against him.
Samuel is 19 of 30 for 218 yards. He's had 2 picked off, but he's 7 of 9 this half. The ball at the Boilermaker 20-yard line. Here's the 10th play of the drive coming up, and the Badgers have had it for 5 minutes. Slot to the right. Wide receiver to the left. Back to throw. Samuel out on the right flat and threw it behind the intended receiver. Tony Simmons out on the right side. And is 1 of 2 today, and 8 of 10 for the year. He missed from 42 yards. He's hit from 32 yards. And this time, they'll split the difference. This will be a 37-yard kick to the northern goalpost where he missed from 42 yards out in the first half of the ball game. There's the snap, the placement, and the kick is on the way, and Davenport is good from 37 yards out. He's 2 out of 3 this afternoon. And
You decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date, so they'll be better protected, and maybe you'll worry a little less.
State Farm is there.
It's interesting to know just how remarkable a Dodge Neon ACR Coupe really is. First, its playful look literally screams fun. But then so do its power bulge hood, cast aluminum wheels, and 150 peak horsepower engine. But most interesting is that except for some safety modifications, this is the very same Dodge Neon Coupe the Sports Car Club of America runs races in. And now with $1,500 cash back, this Neon will really go fast. Order your Neon ACR Coupe now from the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
This is Jim Holder, and this Game Cruiser Update is brought to you by the Hoosier Lottery. Got your ticket? These finals, Nebraska 29, Texas Tech nothing. Oklahoma 24-23 over Baylor. Michigan 28, Iowa 24, Ohio State blank, Indiana 31-0. And Penn State scored 13 fourth-quarter points to edge Minnesota 16-15. That's our Boilermaker Game Cruiser Update. Let's return to Joe and Pete.
All right, thanks, Jim. And we've got 10:31 to go here. And Pete and I are both very surprised that the Badgers went for a field goal there. They're still down by 15, 35-20. Davenport kicks off. A high short kick this time. Clopton runs under it, takes it at the 8-yard line behind the wedge to the 15, and cut down at the 20-yard line. First man down for the Badgers, really anchored him, was Jake.
Ball for 32 minutes and 7 seconds a game. Purdue was dead last with 27 minutes. In the first 3 quarters, Wisconsin, 33 minutes and 20 seconds. Purdue, 16:09.
And yet the only stat that matters is on the scoreboard. Here come the Boilermakers with a pre-call play. Tillman and Sutherland to the left. Winston and Alford to the right. And Matthews to make that Watson and tailback. Play action fake. Rolling out to the right is Dicken. Throws on the run. Oh, what a hit. The catch is made by Sutherland. He bounces right. Boy, he can take a lick and keep on ticking.
Hey, Vinny Sutherland, I think that he has to be the biggest surprise. They knew he was a burner. They knew he had ability, but I don't think they realized how tough this kid was. He almost has a bodybuilder's type of a physique and really is into the weight training.
Trips to the left. Isaac Jones is in there. Slot to the right. And now Winston in motion and reverses back to the right-hand side. Dicken throws that bubble screen out on the left side to Jones, 35, cuts back at the 40, almost breaks away, and they get him across the 45 and sling him out of bounds. Bobby Myers again. Didn't play in the first ball game at Toledo and got a slow start. Didn't really start playing on every down until the third game of the year. Jason Suttle is also down. Suttle is down for Wisconsin over on the far sidelines, and now Tillman is trying to get up for the Boilermakers. We have 9:44 left to go in the ball game. Purdue leading 35-20 over the Badgers of Wisconsin. This is the Learfield Purdue Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Jack Snyder with Houston Electric Company. We are proud to serve the central Indiana area from our Kokomo office and Lafayette office. We do service work, sign work, telephone installations, as well as all electrical installations. Our telephone number is 765-474-6115, and we're proud to be members of the Power Connection.
It's Bill DeFile's annual fall harvest sale time. The 98 lineups of Chevys and BMWs are in. We're closing out all our remaining 97 inventory, and this year, with our closeout prices, we're offering great cash rebates, high trade-in values, and special lease packages. Come on out. Check out our selection of sales demonstrators with special discounts. It's our final closeout during our fall harvest sale. Everything.
Touchdown for the Badgers, along with Donnell Thompson, who also kicked out the blocker and got a piece of Winston, an 8-yard flanker reverse, an inside flanker reverse, and that brings up 2nd down and 2 for the Boilermakers inside the Badger 30-yard line. And any kind of a score here, for the most part, puts the Badgers away as far as the Boilermakers are concerned. Wide to the left goes Gabe Cox. Wide to the near side comes Alford again.
Chucky Jacoby pulled on that reverse and did a great job on the block. Showed a lot of quickness for that 310-pound frame.
Dicken over center this time. And play action fake. Rolls to the left. Gets a block from Jacoby, but not much of one as he gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That time Jacoby had 3 men to block and couldn't get that pulled off. Bob Adamoff, the outside linebacker, made the stop on Billi Dicken, who didn't run that with quite as much authority as he has in the past. That'll bring up 3rd down, and he lost about a yard on the play. We'll spot it at the Badger 30-yard line. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Matthews is out, and I think the Boilermakers are going with an extra flanker or two. That's right. Winston's back in there.
Billi Dicken almost perfect today. 15 for 21, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns. And 1 receiver out of 8 has 3, and a whole mess of them have 2.
This is only the 5th third down play for the Boilermaker offense today. They're 3 out of 4. Winston in motion from the slot left. Here's a hitch pattern, quick delivery, and slipping away is Sutherland to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Vinny Sutherland on a beautiful open field cut. And Dicken did a sensational job of getting that ball out in the right flat in a hurry. 30 yards for the score, and the Boilermakers have just put the final spike in the Badger coffin.
Vinny Sutherland has become...
Merritt and Martin are deep. Here's the kickoff by Arntz, and he chipped this one. It looked like he hit it with a 9-iron. Very short. Bounces at the 20. Picked up by Martin. He gets back to the 20. Shouldered down as he crossed the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Boilermaker getting up was Lee Johnson, who made the shoulder-driving ankle-high tackle. That was a very short, almost a chip shot off the right foot of Arntz, who's been kicking the ball into the end zone on both ends of the field today with a great deal of regularity. The Boilermakers have gone over 500 yards total offense, 508 yards in 45 snaps. Now that's an average of 11.3 yards of play, and that's the first time Purdue has gone over 500 yards in total offense this year. They have averaged 460 coming in. Their lowest output was 406 yards against Ball State. This is their best output with 7:33 to go in the game. Rolling to the right is Samuel. Looking, slips off with Corey, stumbles, throws, and incomplete. The Boilermakers almost got their...
on them, if for no other reason, the inexperience with only 2 returning starters in the front 7, and boy, did that happen. They just looked confused the whole game, and Purdue was able to move almost at will offensively.
Simmons and Hayes are wide to the right. Double tight end set. Dane is the setback on 2nd down and 10 for the Badgers from the Wisconsin 26. And on a draw, no, they fake the draw. Samuels is going to be sacked this time. The sack is made, and it's going to be Greg Smith. Greg Smith with the sack, his first one of the year.
A lot of youth on that defensive side of the football, and him and Perez and Lee Brush are the 3 seniors on it.
Slot left, slot right. Badgers with 4 wideouts in there on 3rd down and 13. Rose showcases blitz from his outside linebacker position, now backs away. And on a draw, they give to Dane, and Dane shoves the official out of the way, but gets knocked down before he could get to the 30-yard line. Surprise, Wisconsin is kicking here with 6 minutes to go in the ball game, trailing by 22.
There's a mass exodus of red sweaters leaving the stadium as we speak.
There's a snap, and they are indeed going to punt it away. The left-footed kicker, Stemke, got it away, and Sutherland down on his hand and feet, gets away at the 40, 45, up to the 50-yard line. He almost fell down when he made the catch. He caught his balance with it. Purdue leading by 22 in a bid to win their 5th in a row. The first time since 1980 that's happened. They won 5 in a row in 1980. And Drew Brees is going to be the quarterback, and we'll give you Billi Dicken's numbers in a moment. They were terrific. Kendall Matthews is the tailback, and the freshman from Westlake High School out of Austin, Texas, is in for the Boilermakers. And Brees hands off to Matthews. He cuts back and gets inside the Badger 45 down to the Wisconsin 43-yard line. A pickup of 7. Donald Thompson made the stop along with Leonard Taylor. Well, Billi Dicken, 16 of 22 for 311 yards. He'll pad that total offense lead in the Big Ten and possibly move up from his 7th spot in total offense in national rankings. He had 3 touchdown passes today, giving him 13 on the year. He had 1 pick on a sensational play by Lamar Campbell for Wisconsin. It was his 7th pass interception of the year. Thrown by Dicken, I should say. It was Campbell's 3rd pick. Drew Brees on a sprint draw, hands to Kendall Matthews, cuts back. There's a flag as he got the first down, but it'll come back. That's going to be a holding call against the Boilermakers. Consultant to the NCAA and the Big Ten salute Tim Dernland. as this week's Student Athlete of the Week. Tim is from West Liberty, Ohio, and is majoring in communications. Tim's on the wrestling team here at Purdue. Our congratulations to Tim Dernland, this week's GTE Student Athlete of the Week.
Isn't it amazing how much I like referees, Joe, when you have a 22-point lead with 4 minutes left?
I'd say that this has been the best work ball game I've seen all year. Trips to the right, shotgun spread. Brees will throw and finds his man, and that's Jones inside the Badger 45. Down throw and a nice connection with Willie Jones there for a 14-yard gain. Isaac Jones has had a good day, his best day as a receiver this year.
Drew Brees has an awful lot of talent, had a stellar high school career, and I think he's going to have a great future here at Purdue.
Yeah. Jones has caught 4 passes for 73 yards. There's a quick drop. Brees over the middle, has blocked with the tight end. 25-20, 15 down to the 10, first and goal. They read the blitz, and Brees popped it right now for, I think, 105 yards. I think that puts him over the century mark.
Well, John Blackman was one small cut away from a touchdown. He literally ran into the defensive back, who I don't even think saw him.
Slot to the far, to the near right-hand side. Single setback is Kendall Matthews. Brees hands off to Kendall. Short tide cut and is going to be decked for a loss of a couple of yards on the play. He was slowed up, tried to cut to the outside, and got knocked back by Bryant on the play. O.J. Bryant made the hit. Second down and 12 now. Second down and goal from the Badger 12-yard line.
You know, last few years there's been a couple of situations where Purdue's really had rough outings against the Badgers, and it seemed like the Badgers kept coming and coming and coming. It feels good to have a little payback today.
Well, Purdue's played very well against Wisconsin in the last 10 or 12 ball games. The win today will even them up in the 90s with 3-3-1, the tie. Trips to the near right-hand side. Now in motion comes Kendall Matthews from the left to the right. Brees throws that bubble screen too far out in front of Isaac Jones, who picked it up on the hop, but they rule it incomplete. Third and goal from the 12-yard line. Your Central Indiana Dodge dealers are proud to sponsor Purdue football. Stop by and see the winning team of Dodge cars and trucks at the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
It's amazing how many position changes, how many changes have been made overall since spring football, when Coach Tiller had an awful lot of concerns about the quarterback position and decided John Reeves was number 1 and Billi Dicken was number 2, and how quickly Drew Brees made his name known to the coaches and immediately took over the number 2 spot.
Trips to the near right-hand side. Kendall Matthews wide to the far left-hand side of the field. Brees play action fake, fires down and incomplete. Looking for Alford, and he had Alford had a step on his defender, and Brees threw that one too low, and Alford upset. He didn't get a chance to catch the ball there, and that's going to bring on the field goal kicking unit. Dicken will hold, and let's see who's going to try the field goal here. It's going to be Shane Ryan. Ryan kicked his first three-pointer of the year last week at Minnesota. He was beaten out early by Arntz, but he's back in there now. He has not missed a placement kick and an extra point this year. This will be a 28-yard try. There's a snap. There's the kick. It's on the way. It's good. Shane Ryan has now hit his last 2, and it's 45-20 in favor of the Boilermakers with 2:41 left to go on homecoming 97.
Brian Alford had just an absolutely great move to get wide open in the end zone, and Drew Brees, when you don't play in games very often, once you get in there, the emotions are running high, and sometimes you misfire on a pass that you will probably make 9 out of 10 times in practice, and he just threw it behind him and low. Otherwise, it would have been another touchdown for the Boilermakers, and Alford would have tied the record for the most career receptions for TDs.
He'll get it.
He's got a few games left.
Well, the Boilermakers have come within an inch here and a shoelace there of 2 or 3 more touchdowns today. They could have easily had been in the 50s and maybe even higher against this Badger team today. They have managed to put 45 points on the board with a season-high 559 yards in total offense, 7 plays and 39 yards after that nifty punt return by Vinnie Sutherland leads to the Boilermakers' only field goal of the day. And I tell you, the thing you like about this Boilermaker offense, they appear to be getting better and better each week. And not only that, they're discovering more and more weapons each week. Blackman is definitely back into the mix after this ball game today. And now Shane Ryan and whoever place kicks is getting better and better, and that's becoming more and more of a weapon now as the season progresses.
And you know, Joe, the defensive coordinator for Illinois, Purdue's next opponent is Tim Kish, who started his coaching career here at Purdue under Jim Young. and he's a friend of mine. I'm going to give him a call this week just to gloat a little bit, I think.
There's a knuckleball kick down the far side, picked up by one of the upmen at the 20-yard line, out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. And we'll wait and see who that was as they unstack down there. And I believe it was Carpenter, Marcus Carpenter, another Hoosier from Jimtown High School near Elkhart. And Carpenter returned that low bouncing kick about 15 yards. It seems like about half the Badgers we've mentioned today are from Indiana. Now, believe me, they don't have quite that many, but they have had a regular pipeline from the state of Indiana up to Madison over the last 7 or 8 years. Slot to the right, wide receiver to the near side. 2:33 left to go in the ball game. Purdue has this one on ice. 45-20. Back to throw is Samuel. Looking. Now fires out on the left flat. Caught nicely at the 45-50. 45 and shouldered out of bounds is Kevin Hartley by Hawthorne on the near sideline. First down for the Badgers. Trips to the right. Faulkner is the tailback, and he takes a pass out on the right flat at the 45 to the 40 and cut down there by Lee Brush at the 30. Up trips to the far right-hand side, which is the short side of the field. And a drop by Samuel. Looking, steps up in the pocket, gets a block from behind and throws it out of bounds, looking for Huntley downfield. Looked like the Boilermakers might cave in that pocket, but somebody picked off that quickest Boilermaker, and I think it was Moore, who was trying to close in from behind, and Samuel, maybe hearing hoof steps, threw that one away on the far sidelines.
Well, the size of that offensive line, it's not so much that you have to get an average of 335 pounds. It's they're so wide, you almost have to run about a half a mile just to get around them.
Samuel is 21 of 35 for 243 yards. Slot to the right. Wide receiver to the near side. The slot man in motion. That's Hayes. Back to throw. Quick two-step drop by Samuel over the middle. Ball knocked loose from Grams, and they're going to call pass interference on Willie Fells. I'm not sure I agree with that. First down for the Badgers at the Boilermaker 32-yard line. This has been another track meet today in favor of the Boilermakers, 45-20. Purdue got off to a 21-0 lead after the first quarter. Badgers came back to make a game of it by scoring in the first drive of the second half, and then the Purdue offense regained their equilibrium. Back to throw Samuels to the far sidelines, again looking for Huntley, and again he overthrows him out of bounds. Coverage over there by Kennard, who got his third interception in the first half today. Lee Brush got his first today. Turnovers 2 apiece, so not a factor in the ball game there. Purdue still +2 in the takeaway department for the year. Second down and 10 Badgers, 1:26 left to go.
There's an awful lot of football left in this football season, but you have to start thinking about individual honors, and obviously Billi Dicken and Brian Alford are two guys that come to mind. Dicken leading the Big Ten and total yardage, has to be considered the favorite right now for all Big Ten.
Quick pass over the middle, caught nicely by Simmons, and Brush makes the Badgers got a shot at making all Big Ten. The Purdue offensive line has played well all year. Right now, Roosevelt Colvin going into play today led the Big Ten in sacks, third in tackles for lost yardage. He's certainly got to be considered on the defensive side. Slot to the right, wide receiver to the near side. Samuel back to throw on 3rd and 3. He looks, he's going to run now. Grab from behind and pull down, and he got about a yard. This may be the final play of the game right here, unless there's a penalty. Wide to the right goes Huntley. Simmons and Hayes are both wide to the near side. 10 seconds left to play in the game now. Samuel takes the drop. He looks, sidesteps to the left, throwing into the end zone. Jump ball, and interference going to be called on the Boilermakers, I believe. He threw that ball up so high that only Donald Hayes, the 6'5" high jumper, could go. 2 seconds to play. Samuel gets the call from the far sidelines. Of course, the Boilermaker defense does not want to allow a touchdown on the final play of the game here.
Holding this Badger offense to 20 points will be a major accomplishment for this defense.
Slot to the near left-hand side. Huntley